Okay, so we're holding on bottom of the Kilo on the page. Today's minute continuing speaking in a clean term. So we're holding the first line of the Havdalah Madal, marking the story like this. Rav, who was the nephew of Rabbi, who was also his cousin, because the brother Rabbi was married from his father, was married with the sister of Rabbi from his mother, meaning that his Rav was his nephew and his cousin also. Kisalak lahasam, when Rav he told his uncle asked him, Ivukaim, is your father still alive? Amalei, he told him, just a second. Sorry. So he asked him, Ivukaim, is your father alive? Meaning, is my brother alive? So Amalei, so Rav answered him back, but he didn't want to tell him that his father's nifter, because on yesterday you can't be the bearer of bad news. So he told him, and what about you? What about my mother? You didn't ask about my mother. So he asked him a question. He answered him back with the question. Amalei, he told him, so Ima Kayemas, is your mother alive? Ima Kayemas, is your mother alive? Amalei, he told him, Ima Kayemas, is my mother alive? Amalei, Ivukayim, is my father alive? Basically, he dodged the question by instead of answering him clearly, he told him, he answered him back with a sarcastic question. Amalei l'shamai, so he got the message and he said, take off my shoes, because now we found that he's an oval. So he said, take off my shoes. The base of to start taking my I needed to take my kelim to the bathhouse, because the oval, after he finishes avelus, he has to wash his coat, he has to wash himself. So he told him, since he found that his sister, his brother, who was his brother, is not alive, so he was an oval. So he told him to take off my shoes, and I have to wash my have to go to the bathhouse. In this story, we have three dinim that we learn out from the story. The first din is the first thing we learn out from the story is that an avil cannot wear shoes, because that's what Chia said, to take off his shoes, and this is one of the cases that an avil can't wear any shoes, any leather shoes. Another thing we learn out is if someone is nifter and someone's sibling is nifter, and they only find out about it at a later stage. So the avelus is not for 7 days. The avelus is only for 1 day, because over here we know from the story he told him that night he wants to take a bath. So that's he's only neg avelus for 1 day. We learn out also that that a bit of a day is counted as a whole day. So therefore, even though he found that in the middle of the day, he didn't have to wait the next day to take a bath. He took a bath that night. So mixing kakulate, so then we bring, especially when we get to dinner avelus, that a bit of a day is counted as a day according to Allah. Another story the Gemara brings down. So now we're saying not only a person should speak in a nice way, but the Gemara is going a bit even further and saying from the way a person speaks, we could see different characteristics that he has. There was a certain person that whenever he got in an argument with someone, whenever he had a quarrel with someone, he would say, let's go to Beis Din. I'm not arguing with you. We're not gonna pass them together. We're gonna go to Beis Din. Amri, so Cham said about him, Don Ka'asi. We see that this person came from Don. The Chsiv says about Don Yodin Amri Ka'achav Shifti. You saw that Don would judge his nation, meaning they were very into getting things done in the proper way, in a judistic way, so in a rightful way. So this person always wanted to go to Beis Din, not in a bad way, in a good way. He always wanted to go to Beis Din and get things done in a good way. So he came from the Sheva Don. Another story that we see the way a person spoke shows in his personality. There was a certain person when he would go, he would say, Akif Yama Asisne Berisa. If I want to build a house, I will build it by the sea. He would praise a lot. Rashi brings down different other praises he would say about the beach, about the sea, that he liked the sea a lot. Badku, they looked after his yichas, they found out that they came from Zvulun. Because it's about Shevet Zvulun, it says Zvulun would live next to the sea, and this person always wanted to live next to the sea. So it fit together with what he said. And he came from Zvulun. So now the Gemara is going back to say, after we figured out, we're going all the way back, after we figured out the Erev means night, so basically done with the Gathata piece, after Erev means night, so we have to check chametz on the night of the 14th. Bahasha, the kind of the Kuleyama, now that we said everyone holds that Erev means night, Michti. So the question is, why do you have to check chametz by night? Why don't we check chametz in the morning? Check chametz in the Erev Pesach. Why do you have to have the night before to check chametz? So Michti, Beiner, the Vuda Beiner, May, Sai, Kunter, Vuda, Sai, I just okay. So we're in the middle of talking about. So now that we said that we have to check chametz, the question is why we have to check chametz by night? We should check chametz during the day. Says the Gemara, either check chametz or check chametz by chatzos just before the Isra of chametz starts. Why do you have to start the whole night before? If you're going to tell me, if you're going to tell me there's a concept of the mitzvahs, when it comes to mitzvah, you're supposed to do it as early as possible. So nivdik mitzafros, check in the morning. Why do you have to check the night before? How do we know? It says in the pasuk, it says regarding bris milah that you could do bris milah on the 8th day, and Tanya read in the brayso, the whole day is kosher to make a bris until nacht. So we should do it in the morning. So we see the concept of doing mitzvahs in an early stage only starts from the morning. It doesn't start from the night before. Shneimar says in pasuk, we see that by Avraham Avinu, that's where we learn zizim magdim in the mitzvahs. When the Eibusha told him the next day he should go and make that keda, Avraham Avinu got up in the morning. Let's say he started leaving the night before. So I'm going to read Nachman answers. There's two reasons why we check chametz the night before. Number one, by night, people are found in their houses. That's when people never comes home from work. So therefore, the chametz we could have lit in the we could have done the chametz in the morning also. But since people come home and it's a convenient time to check, we don't want people to forget about it, and everyone's home by night, so we check by night. That's one reason. Another reason is we know we're going to learn that from Sukkim that because chametz has to be dafka by candlelight, not by sunlight. Even though the sunlight's very bright, but it has to be dafka by candlelight. We're going to learn that from Sukkim soon. So by night, the light of a candle, that's when the light of a candle shines. By day, if you light the light of a candle, it doesn't shine. So therefore, since we need dafka candlelight, and the light of a candle works dafka by night, so we have to check by night. That's two reasons why we check by night, even though we could have checked in the morning. There's two reasons. Number one, because people are found in their houses, and number two, because people are, we have to use candlelight. Amar Abaye. Abaye said, so we learn that from this din, since we have to chametz by night, Hilkach, therefore, hide sobram rabbanim. If you have a tam chacham, lo liftach beidnei beurta the tleisar the nagi ad beisar. A person should not start tam chacham should not start learning a sugya the night of when it comes nacht. He shouldn't start learning because if he learns dilma mashchal ishmaitz, maybe he's going to get involved very deep in the sugya. But asilim noimim, he's going to forget about the mitzvah. Chamid the mitzvah. Especially after Rebbe Shulchan Aruch is mad v'shalat. Chamid the mitzvah, the time to do this mitzvah is by night. So therefore, if you miss this time, you're missing the time of the mitzvah, and therefore you should not start activity that might get you carried away from doing the mitzvah. But they asked the question from Menachem Yitzchak. Someone went to ask his friend Abba Asa on the 14th of Nisan. Who has to check? Does the renter have to check when the person who's renting out the house to his friend? Does he have to check? Why the chamir did they? Because if there's any chametz in the house, it's his chametz. He left it there. Maybe do we say the person who's renting has to check? Why the Yisur b'shusakai? Because the Yisur is in his house, and since the Yisur he's going to be there on Pesach, and the chametz is going to be in his house on Pesach. So therefore, who has to? Maybe the person who's renting has to check, even though it's not his chametz. Tashema, we bring a proof from mezuzah. It says that regarding mezuzah, someone who rents a house to his friend. Who has to put the mezuzah? The person who rents out there, the person who the house belongs to, or the person who's renting the house? Who puts the mezuzah? So the din is the the person who's living in the house, he has to put the mezuzah. So to over here, the person who's living inside the house, who would be in the house for the duration of Pesach, he should check the chametz, even though it's not his chametz. Says the Gemara, don't bring a proof from mezuzah, because I'm over there. The Masechta said, "Mezuzah chayvus hadari." The mezuzah is the chayvus hadar. Mezuzah doesn't go. The chiyuv of mezuzah doesn't go for the person who owns the house. It goes to the person who's living inside the house. And actually says the reason for this is because the mezuzah guards that the person in the house. So who's having the benefit from the mezuzah? The person who's renting the house, the person who's living there currently. So therefore, he has to check mezuzah. But over here, chametz has nothing to do with who's living in the house. So don't bring a proof from mezuzah. Says the Gemara, Amar loho, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Tanina, we learn the brayso. Then I'm asking by the Chaverei. We learn the brayso to answer this question. Who has to check the chametz? We learn the brayso that says, I'm asking by the Chaverei. Someone rents a house to his friend. Im achlei masalei hamaftech is chala ba'asa. If he gave him the keys after the 14th, meaning after the night when he's supposed to check chametz, he gave him the keys. Then ala maski livdek. Sorry, if he gave him the keys before the 14th, started, so then the masker has to check. But if he gives him the keys, but if he gives him the keys after the day of the 14th, after the night the 14th came in, so basically we made the Brisa says it depends when the keys are given over. Meaning the keys, as Rashi says, is when the person's came in the house. So it depends when the renter starts coming in the house. If he's coming in the house before the chiyuv starts, so then the mask has to check. If he's came in the house after the chiyuv came in already, so then the seich has to check. They asked the question from Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. I'm asking by the Chaver, someone who rents a house from his friend, on the 14th by day. Does he have to go check the house for chametz because maybe the owner left some chametz over there, or do we say that Mistama the owner was a from a yid and the owner already checked the chametz the night before? Said the Gemara, who cares? Why is it such a question? You ask the owner if you check chametz, you didn't check chametz. So the Gemara, the person